probably the funniest comedians I've ever seen St. John ever.
Glad to be here. We're excited to be here. It'll be a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for James Mullinger? I said, are you ready for James Mullinger? Born Londoner, now Maritimer, put your hands together for James Mullinger!
Thank you for all coming out. You made it! You all made it! Thanks! This is lovely. Well, this is fun. My home city. We've all come out. Have we come a long way by way of it? How many people are from St. John? Representing? Anyone in from Sussex? Ah, thanks very much for coming. Taking a night off from fucking your brothers and sisters? Start as we mean to go on. Anyone in from Fredericton? Few people from Fredericton. Well, welcome to St. John, people from Fredericton. This is St. John, or as I like to call it, the real capital of New Brunswick. Oh, this is lovely. I'll tell you what I love about gigging in St. John, honestly, right? In London, I'd go out, might be 1,000 people there, I'd look out, I wouldn't recognise anyone, right? I come out in St. John, I know fucking all of you. And as I'm looking out, I can see the guy that sold me my garage door. My personal trainer's down there. Barry's aunt's here again. Barry's aunt's in the house. For those of you that weren't here last year, right, I met my father-in-law's aunt for the first time. You were in the exact same seat, Bella. You sat here all year, just watching every show that comes through. Nice to see you, Bella. Thanks for coming again. I met her for the first time, literally this moment a year ago, and now we're the best of friends. Thanks for coming, Bella. I know everyone. Hi. I know all of you, either on Facebook or in real life. Hi, Sabrina. Looking heavily pregnant there. Don't worry, she is pregnant, by the way. I did check that in advance. That would have been a terrible start to the show. She'd have gone, what do you mean? Sabrina, what is the due date of the baby? Saturday? What a wonderful Telegraph Journal that exclusive could be. Live on stage, I give birth. I've witnessed 2 births of my own children. I know a thing or two. I didn't really do that. Hi, everyone. Who's in the Rosse box, then? Hello, Rosse types. Thanks for coming. Hi, Michelle. I do. Hi, Eden. Literally, I know everyone in here. But there's my next-door neighbour, Jane, who made that flags cake thing. Wasn't it good? Jane made that. Who's in the other Russell box? Oh, I know you guys too. Hi, Rita. How you doing? Hi, guys.
What about the Westfield?
Westfield, sorry, Granby Westfield in the house, representing, yes. How's the ferry boat doing? Is it good? Still working? Thanks for coming. Well, this is nice, yeah. As I say, I genuinely love doing shows here because I'm amongst friends, family. Well, basically, St. John, we're all fucking related, aren't we? Let's be honest. That's a given. This is nice. I tell you, for those of you that don't know, I moved here from London, England a year and a half ago. Obviously, I love it here. We moved here for a better quality of life. We moved here because of our kids, but I'm not going to bang on about my kids all night. I know no one wants to hear about other people's kids, especially after back to school day. Back to school day when Facebook's just full of pictures of other people's kids. You're clicking like, but really you're looking for the couldn't give a shit button. They've yet to invent that one, haven't they? It is, it's nice. But yeah, we did move here for our kids, but I'm not going to talk about my kids all night. I know none of you want to click the don't give a shit button because, let's be honest, right? We're amongst friends here. Kids are a bit like farts, aren't they? You only like your own. Are we all right up top? All the Jaeger bombs are being downed up there, aren't they? Genius. Beg your pardon? Fucking Sussex again. Well, I'll tell you how I came to live here. My first visit here was actually 15 years ago. My now wife, then girlfriend, is from here. She grew up on the Kingston Peninsula. Lovely, yes. Lots of Peninsula-ites. Nice to see you all again. And we started dating for a few months, and she said, well, why don't you come and visit my parents? And I thought that would be lovely. Now, I didn't know at this point what a friendly place St. John is, because it's very friendly, isn't it? Like, London is not friendly at all. I don't know if you know what it's like to live in London, but it's not a friendly place. It's a very aggressive place. If you go out to a pub in London, you always have to avoid eye contact or you might get in a fight. Like, you'd be walking through a pub and someone will just make eye contact. Are you looking at my bird? Did you spill my pint? Do you want to fucking fight? Terrifying, right? So I had no idea that St. John wasn't like this. So I came here, it was 15 years ago. It was my first day with my then girlfriend's parents, right? Now, we go out, we're in a restaurant. Now, we're all friends, so I don't mind telling you this. I accidentally got drunk. Because, you know, it was lunchtime. Now, I'll tell you how drunk I was, ladies and gents. I was fishing shack drunk. Maritimer now, I know the lingo! Now, I'm in this restaurant, just met my girlfriend's parents for the first time. I want to make a good impression. I don't want them to think that I'm bad news, right? As they would expect from an Englishman. So, I'm in this restaurant, I'm trying not to make eye contact, I'm going to the bar to get even more drinks. I'm coming back to the table, I don't want to get in a fight. I didn't know it was friendly here, so I'm coming through, keeping my head down, trying not to make eye contact. Now, I didn't notice this, but there was a guy sat there eating a bowl of pasta with the back of his chair up, like how we tell our kids not to do. Now, I didn't see this. I come stumbling through, accidentally knock the back of his chair. There's me trying to make no trouble at all. And what happens is this guy's face goes straight into his bowl of pasta, flies backwards, hits the back of his head on the floor. I'm terrified there's going to be a fight. He looks up at me, face covered in pasta, and goes, sorry. I thought I could live here. And 15 years later, my dream came true, and here I am. That's how I came to be here. Thank you. It is friendly. I mean, again, I'm still finding things I didn't know that were friendly about it. I'll give you an example. About 2 weeks ago, right, I was in Sobeys in Quispamsis. Quispamsis. Are you Rosse lot still at war with Quispamsis, by the way? You know there's a war going on. It's like South African era apartheid there. They don't talk, they hate each other. There's actually a Dairy Queen, right, on the border. And on one side they promote Rosse News, and on the other side they promote Quispamsis News. And they all sit on their own sides of the restaurant. Through fear of a fight breaking out. But yes, sorry, I was in Sobeys in Quispamsis. Now, in England, right, if you lose something, right, you lose it, it's gone. There's no such thing as lost and found. There's lost, fuck it, I'm having that. That's how it works in England. So I get home. Now, my little son, my youngest son, River, his name is, he's 2 years old, right? He had his little sun hat on, protect him from the sun, right? I got home without it. And of course, my wife does that thing. Where's River's hat? And I go, oh, no, I must have dropped it in Sobeys. Oh, well, that's that then. And she goes, no, go back. There'll be a lost and found. I'm like, lost and found? What's that? So I go back to Sobeys, and of course I didn't realise how friendly it was, and the woman in there says, oh, yes, don't worry, on the customer service desk in Sobeys. I go up and I said, oh, have you got, it sounds silly, but have you got a lost and found? And she goes, yes, I actually have lost and found. I have different boxes for everything. I have one for children's toys, one for children's clothes. And she pulls, anyway, as she goes to pull up the box of children's clothes to look for River's hat, she pulls up an enormous box, this big, right? And I shit you not, on this box, it says, lost car keys. She brings this box up. No joke, massive pile of car keys. Can anyone tell me, who are these idiots walking out of Sobeys with 10 bags of shopping and going, guess I'm walking. Thank you. I do love living here. Everything I say about how much I love it here is true. I do my research. I'm always so honoured to find out little facts about St. John, because I'm always telling people about it and telling people how wonderful it is here. Like, I don't know if you know this, did you know that the first paved street in all of Canada was in St. John? Prince William Street was the first paved street in all of St. John. Of course, it hasn't been fucking paved since. But still, a good thing. I have had to get used to changes. There's so many changes. Again, and a year ago I was talking about changes, and I'd only been here for a few months, and even now I'm getting caught out still. I'll take you back to when I first got here, though, because there's lots of words that are different, like, especially with clothes. Like, you call like training shoes sneakers, am I right? Sneakers. We don't use that word in England. They're called trainers. It's not funny, it's just a fact. She's good, you can stay. And like a sweater, you call them sweaters, right? We call them jumpers. Jumper, right? But the one I didn't know, right, was that here, like these trousers are pants, right? Well, in England, pants are the underpants. That made my first doctor's appointment pretty awkward. When I went to see Dr. Scott at Grand Bay Westfield Doctor's Surgery about my injured knee, and he said, take off your pants, I'll be back in a minute. So I'm standing there, and I thought, well, that probably makes sense. You know, I'll take off my trousers. Because for all I know, he was going to do the tappy-tappy thing. You've heard that, mate, right? The tappy-tappy, right? The tappy-tappy. The tappy-tappy, right? When they're generally chatting and then they suddenly do tap-tap on the... Because for all I know, it was my first appointment since I'd moved to St. John. For all I knew, you had to have 2 testicles if you want to live in St. John. Good way of keeping Hitler out, possibly. So it made perfect sense to me. So I took off my trousers, as we call them in a civilised land, and my pants. So I'm standing in Dr. Scott's office, and of course they always say back in a minute. They're never back in a minute. So I'm standing there, a bit awkward, and then I realised that my T-shirt was hanging down to about there. So it was going to be a really awkward thing. Like, he comes back in, and I have to kind of go... So I'm aware now that this sounds silly, but at the time it made perfect sense. I thought, to avoid any awkwardness... You're ahead of me here. To avoid any awkwardness, I'm going to take my T-shirt off as well. So at this point, I am standing in Dr. Scott's office, Grand Bay Westfield Doctor's Surgery, completely naked. Well, not completely naked. I kept the socks on because I'm not a barbarian, right? You've got to have some standards, am I right? So I'm standing there, completely naked apart from my socks, waiting for Dr. Scott to come back. And I will continue to use his real name when I do this joke until the legal proceedings are done. Now, when you're standing naked in a doctor's surgery, I'm sure some of you have, I mean, we've established you have, sir, when you're waiting for your tappy-tappy, it's an awkward thing, because you don't know quite how to stand, because you don't want to be kind of like this. So I thought, well, what shall I do? So at first I thought, well, I know, if I kind of turn around like this... then when he walks in, it's not quite as awkward, like it's not all... on display. So I'm standing there like this, and then I caught a look at myself in the mirror, and I actually looked just a bit flirtatious. Hey, Doc. I didn't expect you to show up. So I couldn't do that, right? So I thought, well, I know, maybe I'll just sit down. So I thought, well, first of all, I didn't want to sit in his chair, so that might be a bit inappropriate, right? So you know that high bed thing with, like, the paper towel on it, right? So I thought, I'll try and, like, get up, trying to jump up on that. And I thought, well, if he walks in now and I'm trying, this is just embarrassing. And then if I sat down, that's even worse. Like, he walks in and I do the fucking Basic Instinct on him, right? That's... No one wants to see that. So in the end, I'll be honest with you, I decided just to stand there in the classic pose like this. I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And then eventually Dr. Scott came back in. Now, I don't know why I did this, but I think from standing there for so long naked, I'd gone a bit delirious. So I have no idea why this came out of my mouth, but he comes back in, and honestly, I'm still embarrassed about this, I did this. Din-in! I know! Mortifying. There's so many words. That's when I first got here, actually, another thing that happened. I went into Tim Hortons, right? And I just got freaked out. I went in and the girl goes, "Oi, don't forget to roll up your rim." I thought I was being invited to a weird sex party. I'll be honest with you, I was scared to ask for a fucking Boston cream after that. This is fun, guys. Thanks for coming out. I've been looking forward to this. This is nice. There are, and again, I mean, all of that was a year ago, but I'm still getting caught out now, right? Literally, only 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine, guy I've been doing some work with, comes up and goes, "Oi, James, do you want to go and watch midget hockey?" I said, "You what?" He goes, "Midget hockey." I said, "Yeah, I thought that's what you said." I said, "Well, I'll be honest, you know, I tried to get into hockey, but I wasn't really into it. But midget hockey? Fuck yes! Sign me up!" Now, I don't know if you're all in on this. I went to watch midget hockey. Did you know this? No fucking midgets. I was standing there, looking around for them, and he's going, "James, why aren't you watching the game?" I said, "No offence, I know your son's playing and all, but where are the midgets?" I'll tell you what, St. John, they don't do this thing in other countries, right? In other countries, they don't trick you like this. About 18 years ago, I was backpacking around Indonesia, right? I was walking down the street, there was a guy on the side of the road, sees me and he goes, "Hey, crazy English, come over here." So I go over and he goes, "Do you want to watch midget wrestling?" I said, "Fuck yes, not disappointed at all." Lots of changes. I mean, one that I have talked about before, but I have to address. I've mentioned this before, but one of the biggest traditions that I can't get used to here is in England, right? In England, if I go to someone's house for dinner, right? And they say, "Would you like a glass of wine, James?" And I say, "I'd love a glass of wine, thanks very much." Do you know what happens, right? They leave the room, they come back with a glass of wine. There's no caveats, no buts. Here in New Brunswick, whole different beast, isn't it? You go to someone's house for dinner, and they say, "Would you like a glass of wine?" And you say, "I'd love a glass of wine, thanks very much." And there's a sentence they will say that will make your heart drop, and that sentence is, "I made it myself!" Guess what? I don't want any of you just add watered poison Kool-Aid moonshine, thanks very much. Buy a bottle. Now, what has made it worse about me doing this joke, right, is now every fucking house I go to, I hear the same sentence. "Not my homemade wine. You need to try my homemade wine. Mine's different." And every time it comes out, it's smoking, pubes growing out the top of it. Not yours though, Jenny. Yours is great. Yours is great. Hers is good. The other thing people say to me is they go, oh, James, that's silly what you said about the homemade wine. Did you know there's shops that you can go to and they make the homemade wine for you? And I'm like, yeah, I think I've heard of that. It's called the fucking liquor store. Something I mentioned last year, but I would like to follow on with to tell you what happened next. I mentioned, for those of you that were here last year, you might have heard this. Those of you that weren't here last year, when I first got here, I had a yard sale at the end of my drive. Okay. Now, some of you have heard this story before, but for those of you that haven't, I will tell you this. We were basically selling everything that we'd brought from England that didn't want. We had boxes of stuff that we hadn't really looked through. Now, my wonderful in-laws, Barry and Wilhelmina Arthurs from the Kingston Peninsula, who've asked many times for their real names not to be used, they kindly offered to help us with our yard sale. Now, I'd done this TV show in England where I used to get sent weird stuff. If I made a joke about something, I would get sent that thing. Now, I didn't remember this, but I'd been sent a big box of luxury sex toys. Dildos. Do we all know what that is? Jolly good. Now, I'd forgotten all about this box of sex toys. Now, I was doing a yard sale really to get to know my neighbours. All I really wanted, ladies and gents, was free baked goods from Jane, my neighbour, right? I was hoping to get to know my neighbours. So anyway, we're there, all these boxes of stuff are there. Now, halfway through the yard sale, I went up to the house to change my youngest son's diaper. I'd forgotten all about this box of sex toys until I come back down and my father-in-law Barry says to me, "Great news, James. I sold that box of microphones for $20. I've just arrived here. I'm trying to make a good impression. And all I could think about was this poor man turning up that night to church band practice and saying, "Great news, congregation. I've got you all new microphones." Now, I was mortified about this until the next day. The next day I wake up at 5 a.m. because I have 2 young children and they're terrorists. Now I wake up and my wife tells me that the previous night, the night of the yard sale, I'd been out in St. John doing a gig, and while I was out, she was giving the boys a bath, and halfway through the bath time, a car came up the driveway and started honking its horn, which is very rude, as you know. Anyway, she wraps up the boys, goes down, and she says, "Yes, is there a problem?" And the guy said, "Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you, but you might have dogs, so I was scared." Pussy, right? So she goes, "Is there a problem?" And he goes, "Well, yes, sir." He goes, "A bit delicate." He goes, "I bought a box of things earlier from your yard sale. Turns out he knew what they were all along." And he goes, I think it was your dad that sold them. I think he thought they were microphones, but they were sex toys. There was actually something missing from one of the box sets. Do you have it?" I mean, A, who buys sex toys at yard sales? B, if something's been taken out of the box, chances are you don't want it. Especially when I tell you what this item was. It was a butt plug. We all know what a butt plug is. Now, I have no idea what this man was hoping for. He's just got about $500 worth of sex toys for $20. Did he expect my wife to go, "Oh yeah, sorry about that. There you go, mate." Anyway, she tells me this the following morning, and I am livid that someone would disturb the sacred time of bath time. So I thought, right, I'm going to phone him at 5:30. So I phone him, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. I just wondered if you had." And I said, "No, I don't. And you know what? That was really inappropriate, and can you please leave us alone and never darken my door again, right?" And he goes, yeah, no problem. And then before we go, right, he says a sentence that I did not need to hear. He goes, "Thanks again. I'm going to enjoy using these." That would be an inappropriate thing to say to the guy that owns Sensation O in St. John. Let alone to someone that's just accidentally sold you a box at a yard sale. Anyway, I'm livid about it, and I was talking about it on stage for a while, right? And then, about 2 months ago, this is absolutely true, I'm at the Rosse White Church yard sale. Some bloody good stuff there. Thanks for turning out all your goods for scum like me, guys. Now, we're in the queue, right, my wife and I, line up. It's another word, not queue, it's called queue in England. Line up, we're in the line up to get in, and we're just standing there, and suddenly my wife goes, and I go, "Whoa?" And she points at the guy in front of me and goes, "It's Dildo Man." I couldn't bloody believe it. I've been talking about this guy for a year. I'd never seen him in the flesh. Now, I don't know, nothing went through my head. I had no plan, but I couldn't resist it. I tap him on the shoulder, right? He looks around, and just what comes out of my mouth is, "Looking for any bargains?" And then you know what I did, right? I walked around, I followed him round all of the tables inside, and every time I saw something remotely phallic, like a half-burned candle, I went, "Any good to you, mate?" Of course, the wonderful thing about tonight is chances are he's in this fucking room. The thing with this beautiful city is that not enough people know how awesome it is, but also within the city, there are so many pleasant surprises. There are so many places that actually you can't judge by their cover. You can't judge by the exterior. There's so many shops that are absolutely wonderful that you wouldn't know from the outside. This is what I feel. Almost everywhere I go, I find new surprises and delights. Like, for example, one of the finest drapery shops in the world is Albert's Draperies. We know Albert's Draperies on Waterloo Street, right? But it's opposite the Tim Hortons that everyone's too scared to go in. Right? The one where you go to buy crack. And you wouldn't know from the exterior, right? And you go in, it's the most wonderful place, the most beautiful emporium, but from the outside you wouldn't know. And I'll give you another example. A couple of months ago, my son, he was going to one of his best friend's birthday parties, right? And it was at Bowlerama. Do we know Bowlerama? Now, we pull up at Bowlerama. From the outside, it looks a little bit like Alcatraz. If at Alcatraz all of the letters are falling off the sign. It's more like Owler, like the one. And I see this place, Bowlerama, and I'm like, I can't fucking go in there. I forgot my bulletproof vest. It looks like, from the outside, it looks like the place that backers go to sell their meth. I walk inside, most beautiful bowling alley I've ever seen! Have you been in? It's amazing! I've been to bowling alleys all over the world. I've been to ones in Leicester Square in London, I've been to bowling alleys in New York. Without fail, right, I have to tell you, Bowlerama is the greatest, most luxurious, cleanest, nicest bowling alley in the whole world. When they refurbed it, did someone go, fuck the outside, no one sees that. Come on, St. John, people should see how awesome it is from the outside, because half the time they're only here for 5 minutes on a fucking pink pass. We need to show them. I'm actually feeling a little bit thirsty up here. Is anyone working back there that could help me out with, oh, good. Oh, lovely. Here we go. The Mayor Mel Norton, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed. The Mayor Mel Norton. Give it up! See? We've all got to earn a bit of extra cash around these times. See what we got in here? Thanks for that, Mel. What's this, Mel? Fucking budget cuts? That's all right. Save the other 40 Timbits and maybe put them in potholes. And a can of moose lines. We're living the dream, ladies and gents. Just gonna have a break if that's all right. What? You all have a break at work, don't you? You'll notice there's cameras in tonight. We are actually recording tonight's show, both for an album release. And when I say an album release, I don't mean a digital download, what all you kids are doing now. No, I'm releasing this on a vinyl record, ladies and gents. Yes, a vinyl record. Because I hate making money. And we're filming, I don't know if anyone's watched, we do a TV show called Blimey, An Englishman in Atlantic Canada, which we're filming it for. Has anyone seen that on Bell Alliance, Fibre TV1? I know you're lying, because that's double our fucking viewing figures. It's nice. We've been lucky enough to travel around most of Atlantic Canada with that show. It's been a lot of fun. We've been to all kinds of places. One place we had to go to... Well, what was interesting, the premise for the show was, let's go and do comedy in places that have never had it before, right? So we'll go and it'll be nice and busy and we'll show them a good time. Of course, what it turned out was a lot of these places hadn't had comedy because they didn't fucking want it. So we went to do a gig in a place that makes Sussex look like downtown New York by the name of Port Elgin. I know. Now, we put the tickets on sale in June. We were going there a few months afterwards, right? So it was a little bar and grill there with 40 seats. So I said, all right, wait till the Monday, put the tickets on sale, call me in the afternoon when it's sold out, right? 3 months later, I show up, 19 people in there. They didn't want us there. I travelled all around Newfoundland, which was a real joy. Although the weird thing, yes, but when I first got handed the tour schedule, right, the tour schedule for Newfoundland, it looked like someone's shopping list from Sensation O. Did a pervert name the places in Newfoundland? The first night of the tour was in a place called Dildo. The next night was a place called Spread Eagle. And the third night was a place called Come By Chance. I said, I don't mind going there because I'm a gambling man. And I do hate it when people complain about St. John because I have been all over the world and I feel like this is genuinely my favourite city in the world. I don't just say that to pander, I don't just say that because I live here, I genuinely love it. And I always say to people, if you're going to complain about St. John, if you want to moan about it, what you need to do is go to a proper shithole like Sydney, Nova Scotia. And you might change your mind. We had to go and do a show there, right? It was the night of the worst snowstorm in New Brunswick history, right? They said, do not go out, do not leave the house. It's obviously a 7-hour drive back. 3 hours in Sydney, we thought, fuck it, we'll take our chances. Now, an odd thing happened in Sydney. And odd things happen everywhere you go. Now, again, I don't want this to be a rude set, but I'll tell you what happened. This woman came up to me. I got into the elevator to go to the show. Now, a lot of the people that were going to the show were in the same hotel as us, right? So we go, and it was at the Member 2 Trade and Convention Centre, right? I get into, oh, you know that? Oh, you know that? Yeah. What's that? What's that? You got married there?
No, my son did.
Your son got married there. Great. Feel free to share any facts and information along the way, yeah. He saw me in St. John's, did he? At the Yuck Yucks?
Yes.
Did he have fun?
Yeah, he did.
Did he? Well, that's good. That would have been fucking embarrassing if he didn't. Thank you. Well, it is a nice place. I'm only joking about Sydney, really.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, I get into the elevator. What's that? What? He's from here. Oh, of course he is. A good lad. Good lad. Anyone else want to offer any nuggets of information? No? Okay. We'll crack on. We've got quite a few jokes to get through. So I get into the elevator, right, in this hotel in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and a woman in the elevator, she hears my accent, and she goes, oh, English. Are you the comedian tonight? I said, no, there's loads of English people coming on holiday to Sydney, Nova Scotia. They could fly direct to New York for $500, but they're spending $2,000 on Air Canada, changing 3 times, taking a boat, circling St. John Airport, and then landing somewhere else, coming via Gander, and then coming to Sydney because they've heard it's motherfucking awesome. I didn't say that because I'm nice. I said, yes, that's me. I'm the comedian. And she goes, oh, good. Do you mind if I ask you a favour? I said, okay. She goes, do you mind not doing any vagina jokes tonight? I said, I don't normally do requests. But do you mind me asking why you don't want any vagina jokes tonight? And she said, not at all. She goes, it's because I'm a gynecologist and I have to look at 100 vaginas a day. What do you say to that? What I should have said was nothing. What accidentally came out of my mouth was... Blimey. 10 minutes ago, I thought I had the best job in the world. True story. We did PEI a lot to do shows. Do we like PEI? Yeah. I'm not quite sure what I feel about this whole kind of like, yes, come to PEI, come to PEI, come on in, we're PEI. Yeah, you know where this is going. Come to PEI. Oh, you want to go home, do you? $45, please. That's like a mafia trick. That cannot be legal, ladies and gents. I mean, clearly they do it, right? Because they know that if there was a sign up saying, on the way in, saying, just so you know, it's going to cost you $45 to leave, no one in the history of the world would ever have been to fucking PEI. But I do like going there. I don't know how many of you heard about this. A few months ago, there was a incident where PEI came out with a new tourist brochure. Did anyone hear about this? Yes. They came out with a new tourist brochure. Now, there was a bit of controversy. This was the tourist brochure. Can anyone see what's wrong with the tourist brochure? Yes. Now, this is legitimate. This is a real... I've not played with this. I mean, not obviously. Now, this came out, now I saw it, and I thought, well, it's nice. It's nice for there to be a tourist brochure in New Brunswick that isn't a fucking lobster and a lighthouse for a change. But there was a lot of controversy, because, as you can see, there was... what appears to be an erection. Now, this made press all over the world. Places, it was in the newspapers in England, in America, everywhere, right? Places that would never have heard of PEI otherwise, heard about PEI. Now, obviously, they started off by arguing that, you know, it's not an erection, it's just the way his jeans, the way his shorts sit, right? Because look, I mean, look, some of you, looks like you've got a massive erection now. But it's not definitely an erection. Although it is moving. In fact, it's growing the closer I get to you. Right? Sorry. Now, what I would have done if I worked for PEI Tourism is not say, oh, sorry, yes. You know what they did? They pulped every one of them. They destroyed all of them and came out with a new one and a bloody lobster and a lighthouse on it, right? What I would have done is owned it, right? Owned it. Suddenly you've got the whole world hearing about this place, PEI. Can you imagine if the head of PEI Tourism had come on TV and gone, yeah, that's right. You want to know how good PEI is? It's so good, the second you walk in, you get a fucking massive hard-on. Come to PEI. Right? Own it! Right? We don't do enough of that in New Brunswick. We don't own the things that we're good at, right? They could have owned it. Millions of... Viagra would have been out of business. Men that hadn't had an erection in years would be coming to PEI going, bring it to me! Bring it! We need to own these things, right? Oh, let's go have a sip. Getting a bit dry. I'll talk a bit about my... Obviously, I mentioned that we moved here for a better quality of life, and it's a wonderful thing to now be present and with my children a lot, and with my wife all the time. It's something that in England we didn't have, with the pressures London put us on, and we weren't around all the time. But, of course, you start to notice more annoying things when you're with them all the time. Now, I don't know, how many of you like to eat? A few people, yes. We do like to eat in things. I'm a big eater. I'm the person, right, at the end of a party... Right? Like, if it was up to me, I hate, like, those little clippy things from Sobeys. I'll save the rest of the biscuits. We'll put the clippy thing on it, right? I would have no saran wrap in the house if I could. At the end of a party, right, you know when there's, like, half a cake left, right? And then people go, oh yeah, we should save that. I'm like, no. My motto is, it's a shame to keep it, right? I just want to eat what's left, right? So there's a load of sausages left for my son's birthday, part of it, right? It could be like 3/4 of the cake. And I'm like, shame to waste the saran wrap on this. I'm fucking having it, right? My wife is the opposite. My wife saves everything. She's got millions of those little clippy things. She's got the saran wrap. If there's like 2 peanuts left, she'll like save them. Put them in a little plastic thing, right? Now, it was my birthday a couple of months ago, right? She bought me a bag of M&Ms, big bag of M&Ms. And obviously you get a big bag of M&Ms, you don't put a clippy thing across it, you eat the fucking bag, right? That's what we do, the big bag. So I'm on the couch watching a movie with her, accidentally get drunk, right? Pass out on the couch, right? So of course, she cleans up. I accidentally didn't finish the bag, I meant to. So there was 3 M&Ms left in the bottom of the bag, right? Now I come downstairs the next morning to start making breakfast for the kids, forgetting I'm just like a bag of M&Ms, obviously consumed a lot, that's what you do, you don't save things, you eat it, you enjoy them, right? I open the cupboard, there's the bag of M&Ms with 3 in it, with the clippy thing across it, the clippy thing that I hate! No clippy things! Enjoy it, don't save it, right? So I saw this barbaric misuse of the M&M. I took the clip off, obviously, as any decent human being would do, and I necked the rest of the bag, threw it in the bin, right? Normal. That night, I'd forgotten all about the bag of M&Ms. I'd just done the right thing. My wife and I put the kids to bed. It's been a long 10-hour day with the kids. Put them down, we sit down for a nice glass of wine. I didn't even notice this. My wife goes to the cupboard, opens the cupboard where the M&Ms were, and goes, oh, you didn't! I said, what? She goes, I've been looking forward to those M&Ms all day! Who does that? Right? You're with me? But things go on in a household, don't they? Things that we can't always talk about, right? There's things that we do share with friends, like that's the kind of anecdote I would share with friends, I would share with you. We're all friends, I would share that with you. There's other things that go on behind closed doors that you don't talk about in public. You could hear a pin drop in here right now. There's certain, like for example, there's things that my son has done I wouldn't necessarily want to reveal. Like a few months ago, I had a friend, an Indian friend of mine who wears a turban, came round to my house, right, for dinner. My son saw my friend with the turban and whispers to me, Dad, that's amazing, I can't believe you know a genie. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell anyone that story because I don't want people knowing that my son's a fucking racist. Things happen behind closed doors. I mean, another example is, I'm sure most of the parents in this room can verify, when you first have your children, right, it's very difficult to find time for sexy time, isn't it? Like Krista, when you first had him, right? It's John, isn't it? When you had John, did you and Ross find... Where is Ross, by the way? Fucking empty seat there. He had to work. Ross is in it. We're going to have to do the gig again when he's finished. When John here was born, did you find it was hard to find time for sexy time with Ross? You had to make a point of it. See? She's smart, right? Now, I've got to ask you this, Krista. Did you ever have the debate? Because you know, it's hard. What's hardest about this is, of course, the kids are often in your bed with you, right? They come to bed, they want to sleep in the bed, they're 1, 2 years old. Did you ever have that debate when you're like, he is asleep? Now, I know this isn't the best time to ask you while he's sat right next to you. But did you have that debate where it's like, well, we've got to do it sometime to save the marriage? He is asleep. Did you ever... Yes, of course you did. And then, of course, you have the debate, well, how old is too old? Like my son Hunter turned 5 today. If he's sat up in our bed watching the iPad, is he distracted enough that we can have a quickie? Because Paw Patrol can be quite riveting. Am I right, St. John? Things happen behind closed doors that we can't talk about. Well, we're friends, we're family. I wouldn't tell you this story. I wouldn't tell this story to any other audience, but since I'm related to all of you now, I'm going to tell you something that happened. One of my greatest joys since I've moved here is that I get to spend so much time with my kids, but I get to have a bath with my two sons every night. Right? Almost every night. Unless I'm away, I will always, even if I've got a show in town, I'll have a bath. Now, I'm not embarrassed about that. I take great pleasure in that. It's just three boys bonding in the bath, playing with Thomas trains, all the normal stuff. When I have friends come and visit from England, like guys that work in London, they always say to me, oh, James, you're so lucky because, I get to have a bath with my son like once a year when we're on holiday, right? You get to do it every day. And I do, and I'm not embarrassed about that. It's just three boys bonding in the bath. However, you could hear a fucking pin drop. About 4 weeks ago, I'm in the bath with my boys as normal, right? We're sat there playing around with the toys in the bath, okay? Now, there's a little game we like to play halfway through the bath. Once everyone's washed and clean, everyone's hair's done, and it's rinsed out, all the things you have to do. Don't want to leave soap in the hair or your wife gets angry, right? Why does his hair look like that? So there's a little game we play where I get up and I put the shower on so we can pretend it's raining and we're back in England. Now, I'm just telling this because we're friends. This is just something that happened. It's one of those things that happens in a family household and you just talk about it. It just happens. I stood up to turn on the shower. As I did so, my son Hunter, for some reason, thought it'd be funny to bite my dick. I know! Do you have any idea what it was like having to walk back into Dr. Scott's office and say, Doc, you're not going to believe this. I need to get it out again. And of course he says, those teeth marks look awfully small. Now I am well aware this does sound like the longest legal defense in history. But I thought I'd share that with you. And you all know it's not like I'm not a bad man, it just happened, right? I mean, it's not like I did it on purpose. It's not like I melted a Mr. Freeze on my dick to lure him in. That was the one joke that was on the edge of not going into tonight's show. I was very worried about it. But St. John, you passed muster. Thank you for laughing at the one joke I've been toiling over for some time. I can just enjoy the rest of this now. I've been shitting myself about that bit. Right, I'll tell you something else great that's happened to me. Last year, I told a story during my Living the Canadian Dream show about the fact that many years ago, about 15 years ago, I was asked by a magazine to road test a penis enlargement device. Right, I don't know if you heard me do this, but I will tell you, I was offered £100 to try a penis enlargement device. Now, obviously, pardon me, I just burped. Pardon me, bad manners, sorry. I'm telling you, that moose light. I was offered £100 to try, and I thought, well, this is living the dream, right? £100 to try a penis enlargement device, maybe get it up to 4 inches, right? Anyway, I got given this device, and I couldn't work out how to use it. I had no idea how to use this thing. So I didn't use it. What I did instead was I made up an article saying that my penis kept growing and growing, and I was up to 8 inches, and I had to stop using it, just to give them what they want, right? And to get my £100. So I thought, well, this is great. I just make up a lie, and then £100, right? What I didn't know 15 years ago is that penis enlargement devices don't work. So that was the only review in history to ever be positive about a penis enlargement device. Now, what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that every single penis enlargement company in the world now uses my face and my name to sell their penis enlargement devices. Now, as of a year ago, right, if you Googled my name, right, I've been doing stand-up for 10 years, I've done various other things, I've written a book, I've done TV shows, but if you Google my name, when Google comes up with its predictor thing of what you're Googling about, this is what came up. Number 1 is penis enlarger, 2 is the device that I didn't use but pretended to use, and 3 is comedian. Now, last year I talked about this and I made the joke, like, what have I got to do to get that off there? What have I got to do? Like, how many more years of stand-up will I have to go before it's not penis enlarger, I want comedian at the top, right? What have I got to do? Now, something happened. Someone told me this. A good friend of mine, it was actually Rhonda Cusack. Rhonda Cusack's in the house. Say hi, Rhonda. Rhonda Googled my name very kindly and actually sent me a screen grab saying, you know what, James, it's actually changed. Penis enlarger is no longer the number 1. This is something that's happened in my year since living in St. John. So now the most searched for word after my name, thanks to you guys, is James Mullinger, St. John! And penis enlargers at the bottom! And second on this is James Mullinger wife, which basically means all of you nosy bastards after you come and see a show are going, oh, his wife grew up on the peninsula. Let's see who she is! James Mullinger wife. Last year, I told a story during my Living the Canadian Dream show about the fact that many years ago, about 15 years ago, I was asked by a magazine to road test a penis enlargement device. Right? I don't know if you heard me do this, but I will tell you, I was offered £100 to try a penis enlargement device. Now, obviously, pardon me, I just burped. Pardon me, bad manners, sorry. That moose light. I was offered £100 to try, and I thought, well, this is living the dream, right? £100 to try a penis enlargement device, maybe get it up to 4 inches, right? Anyway, I got given this device, and I couldn't work out how to use it. I had no idea how to use this thing. So I didn't use it. What I did instead was I made up an article saying that my penis kept growing and growing, and I was up to 8 inches, and I had to stop using it, just to give them what they want, right? And to get my £100. So I thought, well, this is great. I just make up a lie, and then £100, right? What I didn't know 15 years ago is that penis enlargement devices don't work. So that was the only review in history to ever be positive about a penis enlargement device. Now, what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that every single penis enlargement company in the world now uses my face and my name to sell their penis enlargement devices. Now, as of a year ago, right, if you Googled my name, right, I've been doing stand-up for 10 years, I've done various other things, I've written a book, I've done TV shows, but if you Google my name, when Google comes up with its predictor thing of what you're Googling about, this is what came up. Number 1 is penis enlarger, 2 is the device that I didn't use but pretended to use, and 3 is comedian. Now, last year I talked about this and I made the joke, like, what have I got to do to get that off there? What have I got to do? Like, how many more years of stand-up will I have to go before it's not penis enlarger, I want comedian at the top, right? What have I got to do? Now, something happened. Someone told me this. A good friend of mine, it was actually Rhonda Cusack. Rhonda Cusack's in the house. Say hi, Rhonda. Rhonda Googled my name very kindly and actually sent me a screen grab saying, you know what, James, it's actually changed. Penis enlarger is no longer the number 1. This is something that's happened in my year since living in St. John. So now the most searched for word after my name, thanks to you guys, is James Mullinger, St. John! And penis enlargers at the bottom! And second on this is James Mullinger wife, which basically means is all of you nosy bastards after you come and see a show are going, oh, his wife grew up on the peninsula. Let's see who she is. James Mullinger. You can probably see where this is going. I don't know if you knew this, but actually, lots of people are getting into the penis enlargement business. The Liberal Party are actually selling penis enlargers to help the Liberal Party with their funds. I was actually going to, because I wanted to help out, so I thought, well, I should buy one of the Liberal Party penis enlargers. But I just thought, you know what? I'm just not ready. I love the fact that when that came up, I saw about 50 people go, oh, I know where that is. That's when you come off the highway. I do spend a lot of time with this. It's funny, when I go out, everyone I meet from St. John is a very smart, intelligent person, right? I don't think I've ever met any idiots here. Like, you're all just wonderful, smart people. And I didn't know why this was, right? And I discovered why it was when I joined a group called Loyalist City News Chasers and St. John News, Views and Chatter on Facebook. Does everyone know what this is? No, it's a wonderful thing organised by some lovely people in St. John to help us with sharing news and information. However, if you've ever wondered where all of the fuckwits are, they're all at home posting on Loyalist City News Chasers and St. John News, Views and Chatter. And there's lots of useful things on there, don't get me wrong, right? And it's a wonderful thing. But what I've brought with me tonight, ladies and gents, is some of my favourite posts. Are we down with this? This is my favourite one from Loyalist City News Chasers. This was actually only 2 weeks ago. And I thought, I've got to print this. They're going to love this. Are you ready? Danger, danger. There's a man running down King Street with a gun. 15 minutes later, same person has posted, whoops, sorry, it's a woman with a donaire. Now, what I would have done is just delete the original post. But he thought, well, people might be worried, so I better... This one's on St. John News, Views and Chatter. I probably shouldn't reveal this person's name, but they did post it, so it's Katie Cunningham. She put it out there. Does anyone know if the sex shops here do sex parties? Or does anyone know anyone that does them? Thanks. So I thought I'd have a laugh, and I put, you should come to my yard sale. This is another one. This one has 153 likes and 400 comments. So you think this has got to be a good one, right? Right. This woman starts. Okay, my husband and I are having an argument. What could it be? It's got to be something pretty serious for a couple to argue. We Googled until our fingers bled to find the answer. Oh, fingers bleeding. To find the answer. What could it be? But with no luck. So does anyone remember a Tim Hortons being in the superstore on Rosse Avenue when the Bulk Barn was there? I love the fact that about 100 of you are going, yeah, I do, like I was actually asking the question. Don't tell me, tell Gene Hammond. This was a good one. Someone came on and they put, newsflash, big announcement coming, R.E. Fredericton in 20 minutes. I thought this was going to be good. Maybe Guns N' Roses are reforming and coming to Fredericton. Maybe the Stones are coming. Maybe Fredericton decided to do the honest and decent thing and hand the capital title back to the true capital of New Brunswick. So I sat there, refresh for 20 minutes. Because I'm pretty fucking busy. And then it came, the big announcement, Fredericton Roundabout is about to open. I am genuinely happy to have my permanent resident card, although, as my wife did point out, she goes, yeah, shame it's got a fucking expiry date on it, James. So you've still got a chance to get rid of me yet. But I'll be honest, I've now got that permanent resident card. Of course, the time will come that it will make sense for me to go and get a Canadian passport. And I'll be honest with you, though, even though I'm going to do so for convenience purposes, I'll be honest, we're all friends here, I don't really want to be a Canadian, ladies and gents. That's not what I aspire to. What I want, and I know it's going to take time and I've got to earn my rights. It might even take longer than it takes to get the passport. What I want, ladies and gentlemen, is to be a Maritimer, right? That's my dream, right? I want to be a Maritimer. I want you, when you see me walking down the street, right, in a few months' time, I don't want you to go, oh, look, there's the English comedian that moved here. No, right? I don't want you to see me and go, oh, look, there's the bloke who sold a sex toy at a yard sale. There's the bloke that knocked the guy over in the restaurant when he was fishing shack drunk, right? I don't want you to say, look, there's the bloke whose son bit his dick off, right? I don't want that. What I want, right, is for all of you to see me walking down the street and go, oh, look, there's James, the Maritimer, right? And thank you. And I'm going to do everything I can within my power to make that happen. I'm going to do it all, ladies and gents. I'll be honest, I want to make homemade wine. Not just that, I want to make homemade wine out of a blue plastic barrel that I stole before the pulp mill shut down. I want to drive a four-wheeler on a highway the wrong way. I want to grow fiddleheads and sell them at the end of my driveway. I want to make jokes about new fees. Yeah, that's right. I want to do it all. I want to wear head-to-toe camouflage just to go to Tim Hortons and order a double-double. I want to think it's perfectly acceptable to pick up women at the Irving Big Stop. I don't want to buy my salmon from Sobeys. I want to buy it out of the back of a van in a parking lot. I want my cure for the common cold to be to drink a quart of rum and sleep in a ditch. As an Englishman living in St. John, I want to live in a place that I can finally feel proud of my teeth. I want to do it all. I want to shoot a moose without a fucking hunting license. My name's James Mullinger, and I am a Maritimer. Thank you, St. John, for coming out tonight. Sincere thank you. This has been wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, we've got the cameras. We've got the cameras. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This has been a genuine delight for me. You have honestly been an awesome crowd. I hope you've enjoyed the new show. I'd like to thank my amazing sponsors, everyone at Lexus of St. John. Thank you for coming out. I have been James Mullinger. You have been amazing. I'm a Maritimer, you're a Maritimer. Sincerely thank you. This is humbling and wonderful. And if you keep clapping, I'll come back out and do some more knob jokes. Thank you very much indeed. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, that's right. We'll call it an encore, shall we? Yes. Well, I appreciate you all coming out and enjoying the show. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Before we go, I know we all need to get off to the ale house for the after party. Before we go, does anyone have any questions? Or any requests? Because obviously there's lots of jokes that I didn't do that you might have wanted to hear from last year. No, fuck off, James, we've had enough. More jokes? You're joking, aren't you? Any questions? Any questions?
The travel website.
The travel website, TripAdvisor. Do we want to do the TripAdvisor routine? Is everyone, I can do it in very quickly. Would everyone like to hear the TripAdvisor? I was hoping you were going to say that, because I've got the fucking thing right here. For those of you that haven't seen this routine before, I have all of my favourite TripAdvisor reviews for St. John, right? TripAdvisor, people review places on TripAdvisor and they leave comments, and there's a lot of idiots out there. So I'll just read the first one so you get the gist. The number one is the Irving Nature Park, which I agree with, wonderful place. Lots of nice reviews. Someone here's put, lovely nature and bushy easy access. Sounds like a sex review, doesn't it? But annoyingly, Dave from Toronto came to Irving Nature Park, our nature park, which we own because we're all part of the community. He has given our nature park 1 star, subject line, disappointing. Ooh. What could possibly have gone wrong? Let's find out, shall we? I was very excited about visiting Irving Nature Park, having heard wonderful things about it from the concierge in the hotel and from the guidebooks. However, when I arrived, it was raining. It's not weather advisor, you prick! Number 2 is Rockwood Park Golf Course. Rockwood Park Golf Course. Lots of nice reviews here. Everything you need. Debatable. However, Stacey has come all the way from Calgary. Stacey from Calgary has come. She has given our golf course, Rockwood Park Golf Course, 1 star. And this is her review. I was told by many people I should go to Rockwood Park Golf Course, so I brought the whole family. However, there is nothing to do here if you don't like golf. The third best thing to do in all of St. John is actually Rockwood Park itself. Lots of nice reviews here. This is a good one. It says, I always love coming here. It's my favourite place to bring my sons. That was mine. You got to join in, right? However, Mary has reviewed Rockwood Park. She has given our park, Rockwood Park, she's given it 1 star. Subject line says, oh. That's not an orgasm, by the way. It says, it's the word sigh in asterisks. Oh, park is fine, but the people... Bit snobby, eh? I'll read on. This is located in our north, and I didn't write this, it's Mary, just, you know, don't shoot the messenger. This is located in our north end, where the low-income housing is. If you're looking for a nice time with the kids, there is a play park, trails, and even animals. But it is highly overrated, as it tends to be dirty and run down, mainly due to all the poor people that go here. I don't go because I don't want to see them. Now, you won't be surprised to hear that this arsehole lives in Rothesay. This is fun! I feel more comfortable now. All night long I've been trying to remember what's next. It was the first time doing the show, obviously in that order and blah, blah, blah. Now I just feel fucking at home. Let's just kick back. This is good times. What time is it, by the way? I have no idea what time it is. 10:15. Great, so we've got 15 minutes till the outhouse party starts. Right. Cherrybrook Zoo. Cherrybrook Zoo is 7th best thing to do all of St. John. Have we been to Cherrybrook Zoo? Yeah. I was actually there on Sunday for my son Hunter's birthday party. In fact, you know what, before I do this, can I ask a massive favour of everyone? It's Hunter's 5th birthday today, right? So I wasn't there for bath time tonight, so he had to bite his brother's dick instead. He's going to see this one day. And for that reason, could we all sing Hunter Happy Birthday so I can show him the video? Is that all right? Is that annoying to ask? Okay, so, okay. 1, 2, 3. Hunter. Oh, his name's Hunter. 1, 2. Start again, because I fucked it up. Sorry. And we can't have swearing in it, so... oh, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to sing Happy Birthday to my son, Hunter? Let's do it then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hunter. Happy birthday to you. Yes, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. That's made my day. On to Cherrybrook Zoo. So we went there for his birthday party on Sunday, right, with some of his little friends, right? Now, of course, they all enjoyed Cherrybrook Zoo a lot. You know, they enjoyed seeing both animals. I think it was a cat and a snake. But between you and I'm not sure they were working there. Now, there's lots of nice reviews of Cherrybrook Zoo. I put them on there. I'm joking, obviously. I love it there. I'm just playing. I'm just joking. However, Pat from Sussex, Pat came all the way from Sussex to Cherrybrook Zoo and has had the audacity to diss our zoo. I will read Pat from Sussex's review. Now, I will say this about TripAdvisor. I might not like what some people write. They might be idiots from Toronto that just come and say stupid things, right? But at least it's up to the minute information. Like, you come, you're an idiot, you've got a problem with the rain, you write about it, right? Fine. With that in mind, I'll read you this review, Pat from Sussex. This is her review of Cherrybrook Zoo. The one and only time I went there, which was about 38 years ago... 38 years! What the hell went down 38 years ago that is worth saving till now to put on TripAdvisor? This better be bloody good, Pat. You better have been, I don't know, fingered by a panda or something. I'll read on. The one and only time I went there, which was about 38 years ago, the fence was a bit loose around the lions. Well, guess what, Pat? 38 years have gone by, no fucking lions have escaped. So I'm thinking there's nothing wrong with the fence. But I will read on. The fence was a bit loose around the lions. The lions charged at the fence and it moved a little bit. My son was about 2 at the time in a stroller, and it scared us so much we never went back. He's 40 now! I think it's time to let it go, Pat. I hold the grudge as much as the next man, but this was written, 2 years ago? She's been sitting on that for 40 years. And what the hell was Pat thinking all those years ago, right? Driving back to Sussex... Pathetic kid in the back crying over a wobbly fence. Driving back going, grrr, bloody Cherrybrook Zoo. Grrr. If only there was some kind of public forum with which I could share this information. And she bided her time for 38 long years. And 2 years ago, when the internet arrived in Sussex, thought, at last I shall have my say. And she did. I won't do all of these, obviously, because we've all got places to be. I'm going to read you my favourite one of all to end. Do you have any other requests? Have you seen me before, madam?
Yes.
What other routine do I do that you love? All of them, great. Well, strap in. Phone the babysitters. You're in for another 3 hours, director's cut version. That first trip I was talking about at the beginning, as part of the new show, was that visit when I came to visit my wife's family my then girlfriend's family for the first time. Now, what actually happened on that trip? It was actually dragged out a bit longer than I mentioned. What happened was we were dating for a few months, and she said to me, "Come and visit my family. I'll go home first and warn them what you're like, and then you come." Right? So I said, "Great." So I flew in on Christmas Eve. Right? So I'm there. I arrive at the airport, and I said, I'm here," and she said, I can't see you. And it's a pretty fucking small airport. I was at bloody St. John's. I know! Why are there two airports with almost identical names? There's enough words in the one. It's just to fuck with English people, isn't it? Trying to keep us out. And I know it's not just me, because I was actually at Montreal Airport a few weeks ago at the gate for St. John, and the voice on the tannoy said, St. John, New Brunswick, leaving in 10 minutes, but if you're looking for St. John's, Newfoundland, it's at the opposite end of the airport. 50 people got up and started running. So there I am at St. John's Airport, and I'm going, oh God, feeling like an idiot, but of course, it's not really my fault, right? So I'm like, oh well, I'll just get the soonest direct flight. Because obviously there'll be a direct flight between two places in Atlantic Canada, especially going to a place where there's 3 airports so close together. But no, I come via Halifax. I've never quite understood that. I don't know why we have 3 tiny airports that only go to Halifax. I think we should just have one big airport that goes somewhere that we actually want to go to. Doesn't even need to go everywhere. You know what? Scrap Halifax, just one big airport that only goes to fucking Florida. That'll do! That'll do us. Anyway, so there I am. I get the plane to Halifax, I get the plane to St. John, and I arrive at St. John Airport. But of course, no one ever really arrives at St. John Airport, do they? I circled St. John Airport for 3 hours, then landed in bloody Fredericton. Do any planes actually land at St. John Airport? I've never been on one. So I get into my rent-a-car at Fredericton Airport and I type the address into the GPS. And of course, at this point, I didn't know they lived on the Kingston Peninsula. So I type in the address and it says you're half an hour away, you're 10 minutes away. So I pull over, I do my hair, make sure I look fine. And then suddenly, the land ends. And I'm going, I assume they've invented bridges here. No one told me about these barbaric ferry boats, ladies and gents. Now, don't get me wrong, I have grown to love the ferry boats. It's a great pastime for me, going on the ferry boats. But what I couldn't understand was every year after this, I would come and visit, and every other year, I would get to the Grand Bay Westfield ferry boat, and there'd be a sign up saying, ferry boat broken. We need to raise another $4 million for another ferry boat. $4 million every year? Do you have any idea how many bloody bridges they could have built? And here's an idea. If they're not going to build a bridge, why don't they just put all the broken ferry boats back to back across the water? We'll drive across the broken ferry boats. Ladies and gentlemen, unless anyone has any more questions, that is the show. Sincere, thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you at the Ale House. Thank you, Lexus of St. John. Thank you, everyone in St. John.